When you think college football in the state of Wisconsin, you think the Badgers. Then if you think a little bit harder, you think, the great Barry Alvarez, who built the Badgers into something. Then if you think even a little bit harder, you think of Wisconsin Whitewater, the Warhawks. They've been champions in the lower division of college football before multiple times over. And then you might think, wait, how come Milwaukee, Wisconsin doesn't have any college football? Seems kind of odd, doesn't it? It does seem kind of odd. Marquette hasn't fielded a team since 1960. That was 64 years ago. And the Panthers, UW-Milwaukee, they haven't fielded a team since 1974. So where does that leave us? Well, that leaves us here in West Allis, Wisconsin, a suburb inside of Milwaukee. And you might ask, Michael, what the hell is in West Allis, Wisconsin? Well, there's a farmer's market in West Allis, Wisconsin. I've gone there before. There's good corn. There's State Fair, the Wisconsin State Fair. I've gone there plenty of times since I was a kid. There's also good corn. And West Allis was the birthplace of Jeffrey Dahmer. Transition us into the series here, and we are doing Team Builder. Yes, it's something that we've all have been patiently awaiting here, the return of Team Builder. This was the biggest thing that we wanted to see in the return of College Football 25. I mean, personally, I didn't think Team Builder would actually even make its way into the game, but it has. And we're actually going to replace a team here, because you have to, and it's going to be the Ball State Cardinals. And you see, I actually did make a Milwaukee Panthers team as well. I'm not too happy with how that turned out. That was never really serious consideration. Maybe later, you could see the Panthers come back. But we're going with the Badger Valley Bison, located in West Allis, Wisconsin. And we're actually going to keep the Ball State roster. The roster's already really bad anyways, so we're just going to keep it. All the cupcake rosters are exactly the same for everyone who does Team Builder. So I think if you're replacing a one-star program already, I actually think it makes a lot of sense to just replace the roster itself too. Might as well just use the same roster of said one-star program. I don't think that you're going to get that much of a difference in playage for the series. So there we are, Badger Valley, Bison, college football back in Milwaukee in the MAC. And it's time to create our coach. And last time I went with tactician. This time we're going to go with the recruiter. And I'm disappointed to find out Always Be Crutin. I thought in one of Bengal's videos he came up with that joke. To find out that that's just a randomly generated name from EA itself is a little disappointing. I don't want to say it makes him a phony, but, kind of does. Either way, our head coach is going to be Derek Watt from Wisconsin, went to the University of Wisconsin, played in the NFL, recently retired, and he decided to join the ranks and be a college football coach. Now, Derek Watt is not a black guy with dreads. Derek Watt is, by all intentions, that, is a white guy. I'm positive of that, I think. So we're looking around for a guy who kind of looks like Derek Watt, which is actually kind of harder than you think it would actually be. That's not Derek Watt. Looking around here, so many faces to choose from, so little time. I have to say, I still love that there's just this many faces for coaches. Some of them look a little young. Some of them kind of have like that broccoli boy cut. You know what I'm talking about. Some of them kind of look like young gravy, but it's not that bad, honestly, as we look through here. And I think this one looks pretty good here, actually. So, looking through, that one does not look very good. We're going to go with this one. Looks, again, I love that there's just that many options. So, as I feel like you're just using the same, 10 to 15 coaches. There's I forgot how many there are. There's over 300 of them. So, Derek Watt, we're going to get his size right, even though it really doesn't matter, I don't think, the size. I don't think any of this really changes the actual build of the coach. They all kind of have the same body type, so I kind of hope that's something that's fixed, and if not in this game, at least College Football 26. And you get a polo or a zip-up to choose from. No hat, no visor, no headset, which is kind of weird to see. So this episode, I thought it would be able to fit the actual first game in this series in here as we look through kind of our team needs moving forward, but I want to talk to you a little bit about how this series is going to be different from the Sam Houston series, since we need a lot of guys for the defensive side of the ball. This is going to be different from the Sam Houston series in respects to how I present the games, actually. The game's going to be presented kind of in the style of my Madden series. If you watch my channel, you know what that means. That means is, it's kind of like as if I'm an ESPN commentator. We'll do the post-game stats and things like that. So that's kind of the style of the series that we're going to be going with here for this one. I think it's good to go with that just to kind of give myself a way to not get burnt out here, I think. Because if I just do the Sam Houston one, I'm going to get bored of the game really quick. I don't do rebuilds traditionally. That's just not my jam. And I think there's so many other people who can do that so much better than I could ever possibly do that there's just no point in me bothering with that. But also, it gives me a chance to play around a little bit here in Dynasty and kind of see, okay, let's go with things a little bit different this time. And this time, we're going to scout players, and we're immediately offer them a scholarship. I forgot who made the video kind of going over recruiting, but it's basically like, hey, find the guys that you want, scout them, and then offer them the scholarship right away. So that's what we're doing here. It doesn't cost anything to really offer the scholarship. So we're just going to offer them that scholarship, and that's how we're going to try to jump up on some of these players. If you don't see me offering them the scholarship right now, just know that I eventually did go back, and as we were scouting these guys, I did offer them scholarships to come here. So here's this guy, Al Cumberland, and he's a bust, but really he's a bust because of awareness. That's the only thing why he's a bust. Everything else is really good, actually. So this seems a little different from NCAA 14 and 13, where guys would be busts, but it's because they weren't actually as good of a player. This is more just because of awareness, which is a little odd to me, honestly. Their actual player ratings should be down compared to their awareness. So that's fine. We're going to offer our scholarship. We do need an extra tight end, so we're going to try to get this guy, Quincy Dickens, and our schedule is going to be exactly the same as before. Not as whatever the Ball State schedule was, that's going to be our schedule. We're not going to do anything different here for the schedule just yet. Want to have that same first-year schedule. And Kent State Stadium is called Dick's Stadium. And we're at Willem Dafoe Stadium. That is our home field here. And it says Badger Valley, Alabama. That is totally not where our school is. We are in... on the Teambuilder side, I put Wisconsin, so I don't know what's up with that. So, meet the team, Kyle Kelly. And you see here, elusiveness, accuracy. He actually looks like a pretty decent quarterback. Kyle Kelly, I believe when I looked up the video on how to pronounce this, I believe they just said Kyle. So we're just going to call him Kyle Kelly. Looks like a really decent quarterback, and this is our first look at the uniforms. I think they look really nice. You'll see all of them. I have 5 different sets, 5 different jerseys, different pants, a couple different helmets, so we can, swap all of this stuff up together and mix and match it all we want. And yeah, so there's that. We have some decent talent here in the running back room as well. Well, this is actually another quarterback, but he looks okay as well. 88 throw power. Looks like an alright player. Probably won't start for us. I think Kyle Kelly looks a lot better, so we're probably just going to go with him as our starter. But Caden Simonza, I believe that's how you pronounce that, looks alright. Running back, we have a really slow starting running back here, and Charlie Spiegel. We don't have a fullback on the roster, so we got some talent here at receiver, a little bit of talent here at receiver, but nothing crazy, right? Nothing I would say that's out of this world. Some talent at tight end, but nothing crazy, right? Nothing that's out of this world. And then tackle does not look very good. It's not good when a program like this, your best player is a 64 overall freshman left tackle. We have a decent center, all things considered. We have a pretty good right guard, but he's a sophomore. Red shirt. He can leave for the draft. And honestly, I would probably leave for the draft as well if I was that guy. So gonna have to look for that as well. Left end looks not great. Honestly, looks, whatever. We have a bunch of senior right ends here, and then we have Matthew Meekins, 62 overall, who will be a starter next year for sure. Defensive tackle is not very good. I mean, there's no other way to really put that. That's not ideal. So, left outside linebacker looks not good, honestly. There's no other way to really put that. This just does not look good when we get here on the defensive side of the ball. Middle linebacker doesn't look very good either. I guess the one positive is that redshirt junior probably won't leave. He'll stick around for another year, so we'll have him for sure. Things don't look any better really on the right outside linebacker thing. And, Antoine Sutton and all these guys here, those corners are probably going to get red-shirted just so they have another year of development. Free safety doesn't look all that good either. It looks kind of whatever, honestly. Yeah, I mean, this is really different from, like, NFL, right? Because it's not like I can just draft a guy, and then I have him. Like, I can't just go out and sign free agents and things like that. It is what it is at some of these position groups. We have a terrible kicker. I was, like, shocked here. 59 overall kicker. You're telling me this isn't a cupcake roster already that I'm taking over? 84 kick power. 86 kick power. Or, that's, no, that's not. Is that, yes, that is kick power. Yeah, 86. Not good. We don't have a good kicker. We don't have a good punter. We're not going to be able to really pin anyone deep. Everyone's going to be returning kicks. So we're going to advance a little bit here because our first game isn't until week 2. And, we've reached the top. Some of these guys have reached their top schools. Wish I would quit doing that, going to this screen when I'm trying to look at my recruiting update. It gets really annoying, but already climbing up the interest board on some of these players, and that's just from offering them the scholarship. That's all that we really did for a lot of these guys is we just offered them the scholarship, and we jumped up a lot of schools that were ahead of us for some of these players. Now we can really get into here and start assigning our hours, deciding what we want to go after for some of these guys. How hard do we want to hit it for some of these guys? We are going to go with, contact family and friends. That's kind of the easiest one, so you can kind of figure out what their interests are, so you can eventually start hard selling or soft selling them on, whatever. So I think that's a mistake some people have been making. They just keep it on contact family and friends for multiple weeks. It's like, no, eventually you do have to take it off contact family and friends once you figure out what you can, pitch them on, and then you can start soft selling, hard selling. So, and then eventually, visits and things like that. So, but again, we've jumped up a lot and gained a lot of influence on a lot of these recruits just from offering that scholarship the first week, or that in the pre. Look, we jumped all of these schools because we're the only ones that offered Quincy Dickens a scholarship right away. So we're ahead. We're kind of outfoxed a lot of these other programs. We're just offering the scholarship. Didn't even have to do anything crazy, right? Just offered the scholarship, and they're already, dying to come here and play with us. So I think that is a positive. But yeah, David Rucker, I really hope I don't have to redo all of this because the team builder thing put my school in the wrong state. That's kind of annoying, honestly, because I remember specifically on the website putting Wisconsin, so that's really, really annoying, honestly. But either way, look at this again. Now we're here another week. First, second, fourth, third. jumped up to 5th on some of these prospects from just offering that scholarship. Now, other schools will eventually offer these prospect scholarships, and that'll probably hurt us, but I think there's really nothing bad here. That, I think we're hitting this board a lot better than I hit the board. Look at this guy. Look at these 2 3-stars that we're in first place on for mostly just offering them the scholarship. So, hitting the board, this board looks immediately better than my Sam Houston board, but it is what it is. Here's another guy, Baraka Wilds. We're going to put some time on him as well. Already offered him a scholarship, but yeah, 2-star left tackle. We need tackles. We need to have tackles. And, yeah. So, Bourne's looking pretty good right now, I have to say. No one has committed just yet, but I think we can make a run at some of these players here, especially Baraka Wilds. I think we can make a real run at him. John Sabin, he looks really close to committing to Western Michigan. I always think that's Wyoming, but that's Western Michigan. I think he's probably going to commit to them in this next week here. Looks like they've really stepped up and put a lot of resources into him. So we probably just can't match that right now. He's not the most important player for us. We're going to advance another week here. And Sabin does commit to Western Michigan. And then it looks like another player on our board that we were like in second place on. Looks like he committed to Northern Illinois. So we lose out on John Sabin. We lose out on Ray Yates. And yeah, so a little disappointing to not get those guys, but we're looking pretty good here. There's been no change in those other prospects, but Al Cumberland, the 3-star guard, who I guess technically is a 2-star, but is only a 2-star because of his awareness rating. We're his number 1 choice right now, so things are looking pretty good for us right now in terms of recruiting. We're just looking through these last few guys here. And Trent Cummings, we're going to offer him a scholarship. We're going to try to make a run at him. Not too many other people have offered him scholarships just yet. So I'm hoping there's a shot that maybe we could fly up his recruiting board a little bit here and try to get into that top 3 with him, and then, try to win. Try to get a really good player here. Try to sneak in here late and get a really good player. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. The Badger Valley Bison. Next episode, we're taking on FCS Midwest, and from what I've been hearing, some of you guys have been having some trouble with these FCS teams. So this is my first time actually playing any FCS teams because, I decided to play a Rutgers in my first game of my Sam Houston Dynasty. But sounds like I would have gotten my head beat in from one of these FCS teams or something like that. I think, what is it, the Rocket City Moonmen or something like that, are just beating in everyone's heads or something like that. I know the Pandas are up here destroying people, so I'm going to be interested to see kind of how I'm able to fare against one of those teams, but this is our chance to do it. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to hit like, be sure to hit subscribe. How are you enjoying College Football 25? Let me know below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.